You won't believe what really went down behind one of the biggest R&B hits of the 90s. Two powerhouse voices, one unforgettable duet. In 1998, Brandy and Monica came together for The Boy Is Mine, a song that topped charts and defined an era. But while fans were vibing to the beat, behind the scenes, a much messier story was unfolding. One filled with pride, pressure, pain, and a feud that would quietly simmer for over 2 decades. Before they even met face to face, whispers were already circling. The music industry and the media had painted them as rivals, two rising stars on a collision course. Monica later said the beef was manufactured before either of them had a chance to know each other. It was like the world decided there wasn't room for both of them at the top. At the time, Brandy was the polished girl next door, America's sweetheart. She had her own sitcom, a clean image, and was already making serious waves in the pop world. Monica, on the other hand, was raw and real. She came from the streets of Atlanta, wore her emotions loud, and never sugarcoated anything. One was seen as too perfect, the other, too hood. And whether they liked it or not, the world was watching and comparing. When Brandy crafted The Boy Is Mine, she originally recorded it solo. But something told her it needed Monica's fire. She pushed for Monica to join the track, and after some hesitation and the blessing of legendary exec Clive Davis, Monica agreed. That's when the tension began to build. Producer Dallas Austin spilled the tea years later. He said Brandy thought Monica was too ghetto, and Monica thought Brandy was too proper. It wasn't hate, it was misunderstanding, judgment, and maybe even a bit of jealousy. Each saw in the other something they didn't understand, or maybe didn't like about themselves. When they recorded the song, they weren't even in the same studio. Monica laid down her vocals in Atlanta, Brandy in LA. Their voices were stitched together later, just like the public illusion of unity. That duet wasn't just a hit, it was a mask. The cracks showed quickly. When Brandy hit The Tonight Show to perform the song solo, Monica was furious. Not only was she left out of a major moment, but she later found out Brandy was upset that Monica titled her album The Boy Is Mine, something Brandy felt she had the sole right to, since the song began as hers. By the time they arrived at the MTV VMAs in '98 to perform together, tensions were sky high. What happened backstage? Well, for years it was just a rumor. But according to producer Dallas Austin, and later Monica herself, there was a physical altercation. Yep, Monica punched Brandy right in the face before they ever hit the stage. But the show went on, and you'd never guess from the performance. Still, that moment wasn't just about two girls throwing hands. It was about years of pressure, identity struggles, and forced perfection finally boiling over. This wasn't just teen drama, it was trauma. Both Brandy and Monica were trying to grow up in front of the world, while being pitted against each other for ratings and headlines. They were never given space to be vulnerable, to be friends, or even to just be. And that pressure didn't stop with the success of the song. If anything, it got worse. Fans picked sides. For some, Brandy was the role model, the polished suburban dream. For others, Monica was the truth, the voice of survival and resilience. Suddenly, their feud became personal for people who'd never met them. And when fans get emotionally invested like that, they don't let go. Every interview, every tweet, every red carpet moment, scrutinized, spun into drama. After the dust settled, Brandy and Monica stayed in their own lanes. It wasn't until 2008 that they reunited on stage. And by 2012, they dropped another duet, It All Belongs to Me. Grown women now, both said they'd moved on. But old wounds don't heal easily, especially when they're constantly poked at in public. Their interviews had weird energy. Brandy would crack jokes, Monica stayed quiet. Smiles didn't always reach the eyes. In 2016, the internet brought the drama back. The So Gone Challenge, based on Monica's hit, went viral. When a fan asked Brandy if she'd jump in, she threw a little shade. Monica took the high road in interviews, saying she'd matured and wasn't bothered. Brandy, meanwhile, was still firing off cryptic Instagram posts about knowing the real story and calling out Monica's fans. The feud had evolved, but not ended. Even Whitney Houston's name got dragged in. Monica called her a fairy godmother in an interview. Brandy, who famously starred with Whitney in Cinderella, clapped back with a whole collage and a lengthy post about their bond. Fans said Brandy made it about herself. Brandy said Monica's fans were evil. Yeah, not exactly zen. By 2020, they hadn't spoken in years. But then came Verzuz, face to face again, on camera. And for a moment, it felt like they'd turned a page. That was until Brandy made a playful comment about Monica being the kind of girl who used to kick in doors and smack people. Monica didn't laugh. She didn't find it cute. She saw it as a dig at a past she's worked hard to move beyond. What Brandy might have thought was a joke hit deep for Monica, because for years Monica's image was reduced to the aggressive one. That one offhand comment threatened to drag her back to that old label. It wasn't just about the moment. It was about identity, reputation, growth. Monica checked herself, responded calmly, and they moved on. But you could feel the tension. Fast forward to 2024. Ariana Grande calls. She wants to remix The Boy Is Mine with both Brandy and Monica. And they said yes. This time, it didn't feel forced. It felt right. Brandy called it a healing experience. Monica said it felt like coming full circle. And now, in 2025, they've announced a full-on tour. The Boy Is Mine, 25th Anniversary Tour. Joined by big names and backed by decades of hits, they're finally sharing the stage again. For real this time. But here's the thing. This tour isn't just a reunion. It's a test. A chance to finally break free of the narrative that's followed them since they were teenagers. It's not just about singing a song. It's about reclaiming their story, their power, and their peace. If they can pull this off, without letting old wounds or egos get in the way, it could be one of the most powerful full-circle moments in music history. But that takes more than talent. It takes emotional maturity, boundaries, and a whole lot of grace. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about Brandy and Monica. It's about what happens when two black women survive the system, the spotlight, and each other, and still find their way back to center. If you're still reading, you already know this story isn't over. Hit that like, tap subscribe, and let's see where this tour takes them. Because The Boy Is Mine might be a classic, but the future? That's what we're really watching for.